Hi, my name is Rashid and my surname is Ali. I am a DAAD scholar in Germany. I have background in environmental health and I worked for Lagos State government for 5 years before I left for Germany. I am here to speak about the DAAD Scholarship. The DAAD Scholarship is the main scholarship of the German government. It is called DAAD because in German it's called Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst. So Austauschdienst in German means exchange, because Tausch is exchange. So it's something like knowledge transfer or knowledge exchange. Now, there are lots of DAAD scholarship. Like I said, it's the main German government scholarship, and then it's one of the largest scholarship source in the whole world. There are lots of DAAD scholarship, but then I would like to focus on chiefly four. One of the four that I will speak about was the one that brought me to Germany. The DAAD scholarship that brought me to Germany is chiefly for professionals with experience, chiefly 2 years experience. You have to have at least 2 years experience before you get the DAAD scholarship, which is basically the German is a bit much for my German competency, but then the stands for development professionals. If you want to get the DAAD scholarship, one of the requirements is that you have to have 2 years proven professional experience. In fact, one of your boss or HR or whatever in your workplace where you've worked before has to be one of the referees for you. So apart from the DAAD scholarship, there is the DAAD Schmidt scholarship. Schmidt scholarship is basically for governance, good governance, etc. like that. So it simply means that you have to have like a background in social science, etc. like that. And then for Schmidt, there is no compulsion in professional experience, but then it's an unwritten prerequisite that boosts your chances of getting Schmidt. In fact, getting Schmidt is much difficult than getting DAAD scholarship. Unlike DAAD it gives same benefits just as DAAD too. And then, like I said, the Schmidt scholarship is basically for good governance, etc. like that. So there are specific schools, I think it's about 7 or 8. Links, etc. will be attached to the video too. That these universities offer courses in governance, etc. like that. So you would have to apply for that program, which simply automatically, which you would do simultaneously. You would apply through Schmidt to that program. So to not flummox anything, to get the Schmidt scholarship, similarly with DAAD scholarship too, you have to apply via DAAD. And then if you don't get the scholarship, sometimes some schools give you the option of sponsoring yourself, etc. like that. But then you have to apply to those schools and those programs via DAAD. I would make it a summary of the 4 scholarships later. The third one is the DAAD Leadership Scholarship. It's a new one compared to Epos and Emo Schmidt that had lots of alumni. The DAAD Leadership Scholarship requires that, of course, like I said, experiences goes a long way. Professional experiences goes a long way to napping the scholarships. So, but then you don't really need most of other prerequisites other than the standard ones where you have good grades. You have good grades. You write a good motivation statement, etc. like that. So, but then where it differs with Epos and Helmut Schmidt, it's that you have to gain an admission via same DAAD Leadership Scholarship. You have to gain an admission in a German university that does not require you to pay tuition fees. In Germany, most of the universities are free. You only have to pay semester fees. But then in the state of Baden-Württemberg, you would pay, as an international student, you would pay tuition fees that is at least 1,500 euro per semester. And then of recent, Munich, TUM in Munich now requires international students to pay a certain amount now. So DAAD Leadership Scholarship Program requires you to only apply to universities in Germany where you won't have to pay tuition fees, because DAAD does not have the capacity to pay tuition fees for you every semester. So, barring that, all other normal criteria applies to the Leadership and Youth Scholarship. The fourth one is the normal scholarship. I've forgotten its name, but then it's chiefly for those who studied architecture, music, dancing, etc. like that. So, and then it's for those who come from less developed countries, etc. like that. So, same as all the other 3 that I've said before, you just have to have a good standing, write a good motivation statement, etc. like that. The general requirement is that across all the 4 scholarships, like I said, there are several DAAD scholarships too, even for PhD, for postdoc, etc. like that, and then for exchange, etc. like that. At least for these 4 that I mentioned now, you have to ensure that the last time you finished school is not over 6 years ago, for obvious reasons that there will be latency in your faculty, etc. like that if you're out of school for 6 years, and especially if you don't have any professional experience in the field you want to do. So it has to be at least 6 years. Although I think there are a few cases where people had over 6 years or so, and then they have super professional experience, etc. like that, they get in. But your chances of getting in get super reduced if you finished 6 years ago. It's a fact. So aside that, the rest applies that you have a good motivation statement, you finished your bachelor's or whatever on good standing. Good standing that I mean is that you have like a good 2-1, and of course if you have a first class, then you have one leg in already, because it boosts your chances. So the benefits of the 4 scholarships that I mentioned is that you get 934 or 936 euro, I can't remember, per month, and then your flight gets sponsored by DAAD on economic class to and fro, and you get lots of benefits like rent subsidy. If you come with your family or your family reunify with you, they can get family benefits too. Your child get benefits from DAAD, etc. like that. The rent subsidy that I mentioned is basically if you rent a house and then it's a lot into your 934 euro, then DAAD gives you a subsidy. Like if your house rent is 400 or 450 euro, then you can get around like 200 or 250 euro back from DAAD, and lots of other benefits, like if you want to carry out research in your country or anywhere that requires you to go, DAAD pays your flight to and fro. Of course, you have to show proof that that's what you went there to do, etc. like that. Selection procedure mostly differs across schools, across universities in Germany. In some university, if you apply via DAAD portal, etc. like that, some schools, after the first selection and then you do an interview, then if you are good to go and you are selected, then you get selected, and then if you don't make it, you don't make it, and then if you are put on a waiting list, hopefully someone doesn't take up his DAAD scholarship, then you can be added to the main list. In some universities, it's just some friendly interview where you take the interviewer to town, etc. like that, and then you discussed lots of things together. And then in some universities, it's the classic war situation where you do interviews, you get quizzed by professors. At times it's 2 or 3, etc. like that. So it differs. But then one thing that cut across everyone is that the preliminary applications you made to DAAD, it gets vetted by DAAD in conjunction with the university. For example, say you want to do a master's in Technical University of Munich in, say, environmental blah blah blah. If say 100 people apply, the first application selection, etc. like that, it's usually in conjunction with DAAD members of staff in Bonn. Sometimes they travel from Bonn down to that university and then they do it together, but then they allow the university to take the lead. So selection differs, but then it's still the same, that DAAD gets involved along the line from the first process till post interview, etc. like that. DAAD gets involved. Opening time for the 4 scholarships differs. I think for helpers, it's usually between July and October. For Helmut Schmidt, I think it's usually between March to August. Links will be sent after this video. And then for leadership and youth, DAAD Scholarship, I think it mostly closed around June, and then it opens around March. Yeah. And then for the fourth one, for the architecture, dancing, etc., like that, I'm not so sure, but then it opens around May, etc., like that. But then in all of these 4 scholarships can actually be monitored on the DAAD website, daad.da, where you can actually monitor them and track opening times, etc., like that. Like I said, work experience is mostly prerequisite. It's a prerequisite for airports, 2 years work experience. It's not so for the other 3, but then it boosts your chances, and then it's like an unwritten criteria for you to gain this DAAD scholarship. The point of, say you are married and then you have a child, can you move with your family, etc., like that? It's a bit difficult to move together with your family at once. I myself did not do so too, but then I have a friend who moved with his wife together, and this is the reason. My DAAD airport set, which is 2021, was basically part of the COVID set. So we did our language class, because in all of the 4 scholarships, DAAD pays for German language course at A1 level, at A1.2, and then for airports it's 3 months. For Helmut Schmidt is 6 months. I don't know the number of months for the rest, but then we can find out. But then classically, I know that for airports is 3 months, and then for Helmut Schmidt is 6 months. So simply because DAAD, say for example, your program in the winter session starts October 1st, and then you gain a DAAD scholarship, say for airports or Helmut Schmidt or whatever. Because you have 3 months for airports, for example, you have 3 months to learn the German language course. It's not possible for you to go with your wife and children to the language school that DAAD will post you to, simply because DAAD does not have the financial wherewithal to cater for your family and you. And secondly, DAAD does not expect you as a scholarship holder to be able to finance it, simply because the reason why you get a scholarship is because you don't have the finance to do so, to study yourself. So it's difficult to go with your family, I know that. And then what I also know now is that with the bureaucratic blockade at the German consulate in Lagos now, there is no preferential treatment for DAAD scholars again. It used to be that even if you go to Germany and then in 1 month or 2, your daughter or your wife, and no matter how many daughters you have, you get visa appointment easily at the German consulate in Lagos, and everything goes smooth, just as it was for my wife and daughter too. But then now there is a blockade, like an institutional blockade, that that removes the DAAD scholarship privilege. So unfortunately, it's not so linear again. Of course, DAAD provides opportunity for you to bring your family, etc., like that. But then it's not so straight again now, I'm afraid. An outstanding scholarship, an outstanding application. In my experience, it's a bit. It's the same for all scholarship. At times you would think you are a very good candidate, most especially if you have first class, just like I have. You think you are a good candidate going into it. Of course, you are a good candidate, but then at times outcome will differ. It could be a negative outcome, and then someone who does not have first class then gets selected. So, but then motivation statement, I believe, goes a long way. There are several ways of writing motivation statement, but then my most preferred motivation statement is the one that tackles pivotal issues in the course you want to study. At times it would be that the university themselves would give you criteria to write your motivation statement on, etc., like that. Some don't give, and then they expect you to write a motivation statement for and state reasons and motivation that you want to study that particular course, and then why Germany, etc., like that. So you have to put in considerable effort and then make it original, not the male type of motivation statement. I think motivation statement in combination with good results, like good bachelor's or whatever, then boost your chances to get in. From my experience, yeah, most of us who got in actually have a very good motivation statement and then a very good result. So it's part of it. I would like to close all my statements. I would like to summarize them. The 4 scholarships that apply to Nigeria for masters, etc., is DAAD EPOS, Helmut Schmidt, leadership, and then the 4th one I can't remember its name now. And then you have to track application period. It's important that you track application period. Get your by standard, you have to get your transcripts. At times it could be certified, but then it doesn't matter insofar that it's in English and then it's authentic. Get your I'm trying to remember. Get your medium of instruction, which states that you've studied in English, etc., like that. That won't make you to write IELTS, etc., like that. All of them, get it in handy. Get your passport, international passport. Get your referees on hand. They will have to write references for you. At times it comes in the form that they send them a link. At times it comes in the form that they write a letter on university letterhead with genuine endorsement like stamp, etc., like that. Get them ready in hand. It goes a long way because it makes you be well prepared, and then you don't start hustling everything together. I did not add all of this because those are standard for scholarship applications, irrespective of if it's DAAD or anything. So get them, be prepared, follow the timeline. With DAAD scholarship, you can apply to like 3 or 4 at a time. But then in my case, I applied to like 3, and then the moment I already got one, then the other schools did not give me the scholarship, citing that reason, because it's inefficient to do so. So be well prepared. For Elmont Schmidt, it requires you that even if you choose 2 of the 8 schools or something like that, it's the same motivation statement for them. And then for others, it could be that you have to write different motivation statements. It makes sense to do so. So be well prepared. I've seen cases of people that want to apply for scholarship and then they don't have international passport yet. Those are standards that you should have. Your transcripts of records, academic records. Some schools require that you do certifications at the German consulate in Lagos, and then most other schools don't care. If you come here, you can do certified translation, and then you can do certified true copies, or you can do it in Nigeria there, etc. So the DAAD scholarship is not so generous like Erasmus or MasterCard or etc. like that. But then DAAD scholarship have a very strong network of alumni that even post DAAD, you are still like in the system, and then they give you lots of opportunities. Of course, DAAD does not hustle you to, after you finish your program, to go back to your country, etc. But then the reasons why they pay you your flight money after your program is for you to go back and give back to your community what you've learned, etc. like that. But then they don't hustle you like the OKP scholarship or the Commonwealth, etc. like, where you have to go back home, etc. like that. You can still continue to contribute to Germany, etc. like that. And then your chances of living in Germany afterward is good. If you would see the news recently, there are lots of progress in terms of immigration, etc. like that. So usually you get by standard 18 months after your program. Of course, you have to still show proof that you can survive, and then you won't become a problem to the system. So insofar you graduate officially, then you get 18 months visa extension to look for a job in the course or discipline you finished in. And even if the 18 months expires, you don't see, you can still renew the 18 months again, etc. like that. But then it's very rare that you wouldn't find a job in the program you finished in.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Don't forget to ask your questions in the comment section if you have any questions for Alli Rasheed. I'm going to drop his contact details in the description page, so if you have questions, you can forward it to him, and I'm sure he would try as much as he can to respond to the best of his knowledge. Once again, thank you for listening, and goodbye.